my turn, or they go if they're playing in transition, they're fine. Playing in transition is fine because Darius is really good in transition, but in the half court is when it's really bad because if Donovan has the ball, Darius is standing in the corner just waiting, and he might pop up to the elbow three, but he might not, and that's not good offense. And I think that's on coaching more so than the players. Somebody has to tell Darius, like, "Hey, man, you have to move. You have to
Mm-hmm.
move and get open." You know, but so I'm saying that to say, in essence, that's what's been happening. Donovan has been the point guard. The problem is Darius is not a shooting guard, and he just goes and stands in the corner, which is not good offense.
Yeah, because I'm like, this can't possibly be what JB, drew up, especially at the end of the game yesterday. So I was kind of disgusted, and like I said, I blamed Darius for what happened yesterday.
You being hard on Darius. You being hard on him.
Yeah, you welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yo, what's up? This is Chris Styles. I got a question, and a lot of people didn't disagree with me. What's up, Brandy? You good?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I, I got a question, and I brought this up last week. Do you think the Cavs made the wrong choice of trading away the Bull? Because I say the Bull would work better with Donovan than Darius did.
Hmm.
Who was the name that you said?
Colin Sexton.
Oh,
I
uh,
think Colin Sexton can make more impact because he doesn't need the ball in his hand for him to create and make plays.
I don't. I think Darius Garland is better as a better player than Colin
Probably
Sexton,
he
and
all around he is a better player, but I'm talking about fit.
I think in terms in when it comes to that, I think you always for me, I would always venture on the side of keeping the better play. And also remembering that at that time, Colin Sexton was coming off of a major knee injury. He had missed the whole year. He wanted a new. It was a contract year. He wanted a new contract. He was looking for a bigger deal than what he got. But I don't think for me, I'm always going to take the guy who has the more talent.
See, so I was go fit because you bring it back the same guy when you got. I agree with you. I think DG and Donovan they're practically almost the same guy because they need the ball in their hands to create, and that creates problem when and it's nothing wrong. The problem with the Cavs is poorly constructed.
Yes,
It's a
I
poorly
totally
constructed
agree.
team. Not we got four good players, but they are poorly constructed. We got talent that's poorly constructed. That when we got Donovan, and I said, well, you got two guys who need the ball in their hands to create. And I figured if we had Colin, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He can do some other things to be able to create and make an impact on the team. Yeah, DG is more talented, but as far as fit for what you're trying to do to get to the next level, you need guys to be able to fit with one of your star players. And I think the Cavs kind of dropped the ball, and I think the two guys who both need to create. You're trying to tell Darius to play two guard, and
Yep.
that he doesn't know how to move that way.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. I wasn't a big Colin Sexton fan from the jump either, and I'm gonna tell you why. Um, he we talk about Darius making bonehead plays. Colin Sexton made some plays and did some things that left people scratching their heads. Like that guy. I think he's a great six man, but I don't think he's a. I don't think he would have been a better fit than Darius. That's me though. I
Right.
don't I don't think he's a better fit than Darius. I
No, it's
think
not right or wrong. It's not right or wrong answer, but I'm saying as reconstructed now, you see Darius still having trouble playing with Donovan, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Colin would have had that trouble playing with him. That's what I'm saying with fit. Like sometimes you're never going to get a lot of talented players at the start, but you'll get somebody who fit with somebody for them able to play. When we go back to LeBron, you had to find guys that are fit that was able to fit with him. Until you got Kyrie, who didn't care. I'm gonna score whatever I want to do, right? But it's about fit, and I think the Cavs don't have fit, and something's got to come down the pike. You got to make a decision between Darius and Donovan.
Well, that decision is easy. I mean,
It's easy.
yeah,
It is easy.
that
And I
decision
know.
would be easy. I think it's really going to boil down to what happens in the playoffs. Like, here's the
Right.
thing: if
I
the
agree.
Cavs end up at the 2 seed, which is a stretch, but if they do, they're either going to be playing. They're going to be playing a play-in team that's going to be, maybe Charlotte, maybe Brooklyn, Atlanta. It's going to be a team like that that's not very good, that has a lot of flaws, that they can win and get some confidence. If they're able to do that, then we might come back and run this back next year, right? The same squad. We're going to run it right back. Now, if they end up playing a team like Miami, who can expose their weaknesses, they end up playing a team like Philly and Embiid is back, they end up playing New York. Like, this can get ugly really fast.
Yeah.
So I really think that it's just going to depend on what happens in the playoffs, and that's going to be for JB. That's going to be for Darius. That's going to be for all of it.
Okay, so let's think next level. And I'm always thinking next level. So what are we here for as the Cavaliers? Right? Are we here to win the championship, or are we here just to get to the playoffs? Because that's what it comes down to. And it comes down to JB too, because Rachel, no, I'm not a huge JB fan whatsoever. JB can do well with subpar talent. He can get your team to 40 wins with subpar. But once he gets some pieces, I don't think he's the coach to be able to get these guys to fall in line to his vision. And so the next level, what's the next level for the Cavs? Is just to make it to the second round, because something got to give. Either you're going to change that team or you're going to change that coach.
I mean, I think it's tough.
It is.
If you're asking them, like, honestly, do they think they can win a championship? I think off record they may say, "No, we can't." Right? Because I mean, everything would have to break perfectly for them to win a championship. But like,
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, the goal is to win, not just make the playoffs, right? But this is also a young team, right? And I know they're not young; they're young, but they're not young, right? They've got some experience, but they're still a relatively young team. They're still growing. Last year was a step in the right direction: win 50 games, make the playoffs, hosted a playoff series. This year, they're up battling for a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Like, there is growth, but at the same time, what is this team? And the fact that they're number 2, battling for number 2, 3, with all of the injuries, with everything that's happened to this team, that's a testament to JB. That's that's speaking to him and having guys to say, "Hey, listen, we're still going to play. We're still going to, it's the next man up mentality and all of that." So, like, I think there's something there. It's just, I don't know if this is a championship team, though.
Right.
I'm going to say that.
Only time I don't buy is the young team, because I always look at the OKC and how young they are and how they balling. And that's the only reason why I think we have enough experience. It is sometimes, I don't know. I just think it's poorly constructed right now. And I don't put too much hopes in it, because I think some changes still need to be made for us to be the next level, to be able to say, oh, we go to the Eastern Conference Championship and really threaten something.
I absolutely agree that it is poorly constructed. And also, one of the things is, obviously, your goal is to win a title. But right now, I'm struggling to see how this team is going to win a playoff series right now. And, there's a lot of injuries on this team, and we don't know how long, these players are going to be out. But can they win a playoff team and a playoff series? And I don't think that they can, because we are poorly constructed. You have a deficit with coaching, and if you're relying on Darius Garland to get you there, then you're going to have a problem, as we've seen.
Oh, I can't stand Coro.
He's improved, though. Like, honestly, I feel like he's improved something. He's grown a little bit.
Yeah.
He's improved. I said some, y'all. I said some. I didn't say a lot, but he's
a little
improved
bit.
better than what you've seen in the past. Because what is this his third year? His
This
fourth
is
year?
four. This is four.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So he's taken, small, minute steps each year, but he's a little bit better than he's been before.
No, I appreciate your comment. What's his name?
Jason.
Jason, you're doing a good job, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Isaac Okoro, he just is who he is and he does what he does. So, we shall see. But we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break again. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we are going to be right back.
Can you still hear me or not?
You okay? Okay.
Keep it alive.
Keep
it alive.
Keep it laughing. Oh. All right, welcome back to Her and Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, and also I have with me our special guest is Jason Richardson of the Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders, and we have our host with us, Brandy Fairfax. So, Jason, we've had you a little bit longer than planned, so thank you so much. I guess we're going to go ahead and pivot to some Cleveland Browns, and right now there is a lot going on in free agency. And Brandy, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the thoughts about the moves that the Cleveland Browns have made in free agency? Oh, I guess I should turn your mic on to hear you, huh? Hello, guys. Can y'all hear me?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay, Brandon, can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna go to you, Jason. What are some of your favorite moves that they've made in free agency?
I saw. I like the Jameis Winston pickup. I do. I'm gonna tell you why. Like, I didn't have a problem with Joe Flacco, but Jameis Winston is what, 30. Joe Flacco is 40. Like, I'll take the younger guy. I'll take the younger guy each day of the week. I mean, they're the same player, so I'll take that. So I like Jameis Winston. I like the Naeem Hines pickup. I think that helps the running back room because I'm not sure what Nick Chubb is going to be coming back from this knee injury that he has. So, those two moves for me, I think they both happened today, but both of those moves were great. Obviously, I like Jared Judy, but those are the two moves that for me stick out.
Yeah, Chris just said thank you for saying that. You agree with the Jameis Winston pickup. I'm okay with that, but one of the things is he has to, tone down those interceptions. I think, he might be like at 99 interceptions for his career and maybe like 114 touchdowns. So something around those numbers right there. So, if he can, he's coming in as a backup because we don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to be like coming off this injury, if he's going to need a couple more days, because I do not feel like you should play Deshaun Watson in free agency at all. I think you need to give him a rest, give him an opportunity to rest that arm and start Jameis and have that take place, but if he can tone down those interceptions, especially in the regular season, I'm all for it because, you hope nothing happens with Deshaun Watson, but there's always that possibility. There's always a possibility that other teams are going to target his arm. So we just don't know with that. So, we definitely have to be careful. Brandy, what are your thoughts about the Jameis Winston pickup?
I'm happy. So I grew up a Saints fan, so I've watched the Saints
Oh,
pretty
that's
closely.
right.
So in 2021, when he was the Saints starter, he did pretty good. He only had 3 interceptions that year, so he definitely,
Okay.
has improved in the past few years. I also think, when he's not playing, for the Saints, he showed great leadership and being a good teammate, being the backup. So I think that's one good thing that the Browns could use. But other than that, I'm happy that they were able to re-sign Zadarius Smith. I think that was a huge thing to get him to be able to come back. I do like Jerry Judy as well. Kind of a little bit hoping that we waited a little bit just because I know we were trying to get T. Higgins. He did get franchise tagged, but he asked to be traded yesterday. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with him.
What player did you say? I'm sorry.
T. Higgins asked to be traded.
Oh yeah, no man. They ain't gonna trade him to a division rival though. So we can dream on that, but that's not gonna happen. Yeah. So the Jerry Judy move, that's been a move of contention as well because people are saying that Jerry Judy is a third receiver at best, and we have traded for him to be a second receiver, not a third receiver. So let me get your thoughts on both of this. When you look at his numbers, he hasn't broken 1,000 yards any year in his career. He said that he modeled his game after Amari Cooper. They're both Alabama wide receivers. Do you think that, him being with Deshaun Watson, that he'll be able to break over 1,000 yards this season and be a number 2 option instead of a number 3?
I do. I have. I do. I think he's been in the league 3 years, and he hasn't had good. Last year he had decent quarterback play, but then he got hurt, and then Russ was benched. I think he would have got 1,000 yards last year had all things been equal. But yeah, no. Jared Judy is one of the better route runners in the NFL, and he's getting to play with his mentor and probably one of the best route runners. He'll be fine as long as he can stay out of his head and stop picking fights with Steve Smith. He'll be fine.
Well, I mean, what Steve Smith had to say was pretty powerful as well. And you just hope that, possibly coming to the Cleveland Browns, with a fresh start, that, it could be better for him because, Sean Payton, I think, probably isn't really likable. You had the, what was it, Bounty Gate and stuff like that, him going off. So, I definitely was not a fan after he went off on Russell Wilson on the sidelines of that game. I believe that's something that could have been saved for the locker room or a personal discussion. I don't like how he went off on him in public like that. That could have been a lot better. So I don't know, how much people in that locker room really like Sean Payton. So, I'm hoping that, with his new culture that kind of was brought in by Jarvis Landry for this Browns, he can fall in underneath that culture and produce those numbers that we're looking for him to produce because, he wants to be like Amari Cooper. Okay, well, here's your opportunity. Amari Cooper is going to be lined up, opposite you. So here's your opportunity to be like Amari.
Yep. I like that move. I think it's even if he is a number 3, and I like Tillman, but Jared Judy is better than Tillman. Like he's better than Cedric Tillman. He's better than, now you can have Elijah Moore in the slot. You can do different things with him, and this offense should be really good. It should be on paper. You've got 2 wide receivers who are great route runners. You've got Njoku. You've got Elijah Moore. You've got a decent running back room, and depending on what Chubb looks like when he comes back, Deshaun Watson is a threat. Like, this offense should be fine. So okay, we'll see. Like, I just want to play. I want to get to the season. I'm tired of all off season in the NFL. As soon as the Super Bowl's over, you go from early February to July, and it's just a bunch of hypotheticals. It's just a bunch of they got who? Oh, they got who? Oh, this and it's annoying because I just want to play. Let's just get it going, you know.
And you mentioned Nick Chubb. So Naheem Hines, running back, was signed to a 1 year deal up to $3.5 million, and he's coming off an injury as well. He suffered a season-ending knee injury during a jet ski accident. Why was he riding a jet ski during regular
During the
season?
season.
That's like Kellen Winslow Jr., doing the motorcycle stuff. It's just some stuff you got to be smarter about because your body is your money. So, who knows how often he could see action time because he's going to be behind Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. But also, he does stuff on special teams, which we need because the Cleveland Browns special teams is one of the worst in all of the NFL. And, they're not able to produce anything, even with, the new kickoff rules and stuff like that. So it's absolutely disgusting what our special teams produces. But he'll be able to help with that. They also brought back Zadarius Smith. What are your thoughts about that, Brandy? I'll take you first.
I'm definitely, happy. I think a lot of people thought he wasn't going to come back. So that was like something that I think that a lot of people were hopeful for. But he played pretty well last year. So I'm happy to see him back. Having him on the other side of Miles was something that we needed for the past couple of years.
Yeah. That's a good thing too, because also, you want some stability in that position. You had Jadeveon Clowney there for 2 years, so you have somebody returning back. It's not easy to play opposite Myles Garrett because, you got to go ahead and get those sacks too, because you already know that he's going to be, double teamed and triple teamed. So you got to go off and get yours too. So, Zadarius needs to come to play and have a excellent season, opposite the defense player of the year. Jason, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like re-signing him. I think he got a 2 year deal.
Yeah, 2 year deal. I'm sorry. Did I say one? I'm sorry, 2 year deal.
Yeah, but I like him being back. I think he was. Um, I honestly like him more than I like Jadeveon Clowney on
Oh,
the
really?
opposite. Yeah, I
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan. I mean, I think he was more productive, and the line was just better. And I think, Jim Schwartz has something to do with that. But Tomlinson has something to do with that. Like they played as a unit, and it allowed, especially early in the year before Miles got that shoulder injury, he was dominant. Like Miles was dominant,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that was a lot to do with Zadarius and Tomlinson and all of those guys. So I love this. They weren't able to get the kid from Miami, Wilkinson, but they kept their own guy, and I think that if I'm not mistaken, they re-signed Hurst as well. So like
Mm-hmm.
that camaraderie, that continuity, and everything like that. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think it was a great move too because, excuse me, like you were saying, Myles Garrett, he was off to a big year had he not been hurt, so he would have had better stats than TJ Watt. So everybody's talking about TJ had better stats, yeah. But had Myles Garrett been able to play the rest of the season, not the rest of the season, but had he not been injured and been in full form, I think he would have blew those numbers out of the water. So now is the opportunity for Zadarius, maybe to play into another contract and get his money too. So he got to step up opposite of Myles Garrett. So one of the things I want to get you guys' opinion on is what's happening with the AFC North. Russell Wilson, I love Russell because this is one of the things that I hate that that debate between the Russell and Future debate, and it ties back to me, not even a football thing, and everybody's like, Russell was so corny and all this other stuff, and I understand what makes him corny because he loves and cherishes his wife and treats her like a queen. What's corny? People talking about I'd rather have a Future than a Russell Wilson. I'm like, are people crazy? What is wrong with them? So it kind of boils down to a little something for me, outside of that, how people dogging him and stuff like that. So, I always root for Russell Wilson, excuse me. I always root for him. So, now I'm not going to root for him because he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you guys think that he's going to perform with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with Mike Tomlin as a coach, will we see a resurgence to his career? Because I think that Denver played him and gave him a raw deal, but he getting his money. That's all I care about at the end. Fire me and pay me my $40 million. I'm good with that. I have no shame. But what are you guys' thoughts about that situation? Him going from Denver to Pittsburgh and now being in the AFC North and seeing just how tough football really is by his move into this division.
Yeah, I hate the Steelers, but
I hate him
you
too.
know,
Don't get me wrong.
yeah, but I mean, I think Russ is still a viable option, which is why I hate this move. I mean, look, at worst, he's going to be better than Kenny Pickett. Like that. That
Yeah.
is, he's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than Mason Rudolph. So he can't do worse than they did, which is what I hate. But for him personally, look, I like Russ. I root for Russ. Corny is cool, and sometimes, and he can be corny, but I don't see loving your wife and loving your children as corny. So but if that's corny, then hey, I'm a corny dude too. So
Yeah, I'm like, please, there's nothing wrong with being corny or whatever, which is kind of sad that, that's looked upon it in the community as being corny. So I'm like, if you want a future, I definitely think that you need professional help.
yeah, right.
Right.
And James Whitfield says, God bless. We appreciate you, James. Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate that. Also, too, one of the things is about Justin Fields. So this is, always intriguing and fascinating to me because he's a Buckeye. So it's like my heart is always attached to these Buckeyes. And I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be successful in the NFL. So I think that, they're going to have egg on their face with this move. But where do you guys possibly think that Justin can go from here? Because pretty much all the quarterbacks are pretty much, you know, finding homes with other teams, but he has yet to find a home. What do you guys think will happen with him? Brandy, I'll take you first.
Ooh, it's kind of hard. I'm not sure just because this has been a talk for a while now on what Chicago is going to do with him, whether they're going to trade him. And, now bringing Caleb into it, are they going to be battling it out in training camp or will they try and make a trade? So I don't know. I think at this point, his time in Chicago might be over with just because I don't know. If I was him, I wouldn't want to be there anymore. If they went so back and forth on him, it doesn't seem like they really want him as the guy. So I think he will go somewhere. I'm just not sure where he would necessarily fit yet.
Mm-hmm. Jason, what you thinking?
So I have a dark horse team that I think is going. I think he's going to end up.
Ooh, tell me
I don't
more.
have no inside information. This is just me spinning my wheels. But I think he's going to end up in Arizona.
Okay.
I think he's going to end up like Arizona does not like Kyler Murray. They're not sold on Kyler Murray. They're going to need a quarterback. I think he's going to end up in Arizona. I think he's going to be. Now, if I was Chicago, I would trade back, let somebody else take Caleb Williams, and I would trade back to 3 or 4, and I would get Marvin Harrison Jr. and give Fields another weapon. But I'm not in Chicago, so that's probably not what's going to happen. But I do think if Chicago moves on from Fields, he'll go to Arizona.
Yeah,
Or
and that. Oh, go ahead, Brandy. I'm sorry. Was you saying something?
possibly Minnesota because Kirk Cousins just left to go to Atlanta, so they'll be looking for somebody.
It would have to be a trade, and I just don't see the Bears trading a quarterback like Fields in their division.
Right.
Yeah, and they're saying that the Vikings might draft JJ McCarthy as well. So yeah, I don't know. That's going to be very interesting. But like I said, Justin Fields is very near and dear to my heart. So I hope that he's put in the best situation. And I don't know what the Cardinals thought picking a quarterback that was 5'1". I don't know why they thought that Kyler was going to have success. Kyler probably should have went to wasn't the Oakland A's who drafted him or whatever.
I believe it was the A's. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably should have went to the Oakland A's and just went from there. So I'm just like Maybe I'd love to see if that prediction pans out, Jason. So that would be dope as well. And what are your thoughts about the Browns saying that they, would are interested or have mutual interest with Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco explicitly stating that he wanted to be back with the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns said they had mutual interest in him doing so. Them not offering him a contract and offering one for Jameis Wilson. Do the Browns have a little egg on their face at all for doing that?
That's tough. I mean, I think we know. I think I've seen this other places, but I think it was a thing for Deshaun more so. Like, look, we're not gonna if they bring Joe Flacco back, if they lose game one, if the Browns were to lose game one and Deshaun throws for 170 yards, no touchdowns, and he looks bad again, nobody's going to talk about the fact that he's coming off of a shoulder surgery. They're just going to say, Joe Flacco led us to the playoffs. Like that's it. That's what it's going to be. Like the most important person on the Browns team is always the backup quarterback. I don't know backup quarterbacks in for any other team. But the Browns, you always know their backup quarterback. Like it's ridiculous. I just think that they said, you know what, we're gonna let you have this, and we're gonna bring in a Jameis Winston, who is the same guy. It's the same guy. Oh, and Joe Flacco just threw another interception. Just so while we were talking, he just threw another interception.
Right.
So,
I'm like, did anybody watch that game, the playoff game where he threw 2 pick sixes back to back? That's all I need. That's all I need to, it was great, the run that he had, it was like a Disney movie and stuff like that. But when we got to the game where it counted the most, he could not perform. And that's just that, So I wish him well. I'm glad what he did for us. And, it is what it is. And he got a couple $1 million in his bank account, so he'll be fine. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. So, Jason, I want to thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you. Your insight was excellent, and we'd love to have you back. Brandy, I appreciate you being here today, too. So, just
Thank you. I thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
okay. I was trying to finish up by 6:59, but I wasn't able to do so. But Jason, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'll come on anytime. Thank you.
I was gonna say that on air, but it went out. So,
yeah.
Brandy, I'll talk to you later.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, bye guys. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.